Hello, everyone. David Dean here, the Digital Media Manager at OETA, and I am joined with Robert Reid, host of Gallery America. How are you, Robert?
Good. How are you, David?
I am doing well. The sun is out, and I cannot complain.
What
Um,
does it say on your shirt?
it's just, this was kind of my homage to Ed Ruscha because it has just some like very basic print letters that remind me of him. So, in honor of that, and it really just says something about happy hour, I think, which one day we'll all be able to do again. But for now, yes, we are doing this new Gallery America online called Final Fridays. And I wanted to see if you could kind of just explain a little bit about what our Final Friday videos will be.
Well, this will be fun. Final Friday is kind of it's going to come out. A lot of people will be surprised on the last Friday of the month. And it's going to be a look kind of what's happened in the last month, in this case, February, in the Oklahoma art world, what's going to happen in the next few weeks, and a little bit about what Gallery America is doing at the same time. So we're just kind of a check-in with Oklahoma art.
I love it. Well, let's check in with it right now. Why don't we start with tell me what's going on with the Greenwood Arts Project and what's been going on with that over the last month.
We're going to talk about some huge things. I mean, there's always a lot of really good art stories in Oklahoma, either from artists that are working or things that are coming as exhibits. But what's happening in 2021 is really standout year, and we see it already. So the Greenwood Art Project is an amazing effort by 36 projects, mostly of Tulsa artists, dancers, musicians, writers, poets, that are going to be creating a series of events to commemorate the centennial of the Tulsa Race Massacre, which is May 31st and June 1st of this year, and also trying to work to recultivate the Greenwood neighborhood through arts through this. And so we kind of saw the first of it in January with the Gap Van. And the Gap Van is kind of a mobile museum of sorts that's going to be going over the coming months, showing art crawls and cultural centers and schools and museums, and trying to connect, the community all across Tulsa with what's happening with the Greenwood Art Project. So I was able to feature that. It was on Oklahoma News Report, and we featured it on Gallery America Online. So that's the first step. And so we're going to be, Gallery America, looking ahead to our June episode. We're going to be checking with a number of those artists, and I really can't wait to see how this unfolds.
And speaking of Gallery America Online, I do want to remind everyone that you can be following Gallery America on their Instagram at OETA Gallery, and on their Twitter at Gallery OETA. And then if you just simply search Gallery America YouTube, you can see all of it there. And we're also going to do that really fun thing where we point down and say, click here to subscribe to Gallery America. Do you see it? Yay, subscribe. Okay. A movie, and also you can see all of Gallery America's previous shows and other online videos on oeta.tv, and click Gallery America. So Robert, going ahead, that all sounds fantastic. And what else has been going on over the last month of February?
Two huge exhibits that really I think all of Oklahoma should try to make a point of seeing. They're both in Oklahoma City. And the first one that we'll talk about is, you've been, I went, we both went yesterday, Oklahoma Contemporary in Oklahoma City, a stunning new location right on Automobile Alley, has an Ed Ruscha exhibit, which is the first time that this contemporary artist, some say the greatest living American artist, he's from Oklahoma, and this is the first solo show he's had in Oklahoma. Now, he grew up in Oklahoma City. He left to Los Angeles in the late 50s to study at an art institute there, kind of worked with pop art. He was influenced by Dada and Surrealism. He did all kinds of things, self-produced books, and kind of a lot of kind of funny artwork and things. And he made it. He still lives in Los Angeles, but he's always had Oklahoma as kind of a theme that he returned to. You can take a boy out of Oklahoma, but not the Oklahoma out of a boy, as you see at the Ed Ruscha exhibit. Everyone should go see the Ed Ruscha OKLA exhibit at the Oklahoma Contemporary.
It's absolutely fantastic, and I luckily had an older sister and her husband. When I was about 16, they turned me on to Ed Ruscha, and I really became kind of obsessed with him at that point. And he's been I always have like a top 3 or top 5 that changes month to month, but he's consistently been one of my top 3 favorite artists of all time. So having an Oklahoma exhibition, the first one, absolutely incredible. I'd like to talk a little bit about that exhibit. What did you think about the pieces that were featured, and did anything surprise you that you had not seen from his previous catalog or his previous works?
Well, I first saw some Ed Ruscha here in Oklahoma recently at the Fred Jones Jr. Museum at OU. And they still have it on through March 7th, which is talking about a lot of different Oklahoma artists that went to LA to study, including Ed Ruscha. And he was kind of the star of that. And you can see that, and you should go see that as well. And to see this, you see how he has different themes, different styles of art, and they'll be side by side pencil drawings that are 30 years apart. That looks like it was almost part of the same series. And then the next part could be, oils or video or all kinds of different lithographs, all kinds of installations, etc. Really varies a lot. In terms of surprise for me, 2 things I want to mention. Number one is I love his books. I see his books. He self published these books, like 26 gasoline stations, about gas stations that he took photos of going back
There we go.
to Oklahoma. This is in the early 60s. And these were sold for 65 cents each, and now they're worth $200,000. And he just self-published these things. And I just love the bare minimalism of them. Those books make me want to make books. I was a writer in the past, and I see those, I'm going, I want to do this. I want to do something like this. And I love art that makes you feel to use kind of their creativity in a way that you actually could do something with it. Other thing that surprised me is his address. I think it's 2507 or 2105 Northwest 17th Street. There's no secret thing here. It's in the exhibit. That's 5 blocks from my house on the same street. I live on the same street that Ed Ruscha did. I had no idea until I saw it.
Beautiful, wonderful kismet, and just very cool. What really has attracted me to him, and I think what you said as far as minimalism is perfect. His aesthetic is so minimal yet so gripping, and I've always been a fan of his fonts. Like, I think that this isn't a scholar look at it, but his fonts and his usage of the way he does hardlined letters have impacted me in my career and my style of aesthetic of things. And I think there's something so simple about a really, like, a block letter A over a mountain or whatever it is, that is so simple yet so perfect. And I feel like he kind of created that.
There's really no reason that everyone doesn't go there.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what, people that have never seen him before, when they go there and they see it all laid out. It's never been like this in Oklahoma. It's kind of mandatory at this point.
And I think OK Contemporary does such a great job, as all the museums have been doing, about social distancing and allowing people to still come in and see the amazing exhibits that are going on in Oklahoma. And I highly recommend everyone go to Oklahoma Contemporary's website and book yourself this is a free exhibition for everyone in Oklahoma. Book yourself a slot and go, and it is well worth your time. Okay, so moving on to Spiro. What do we got?
So the National Cowboy and Western Heritage Museum has spent a number of years to create an exhibit, which in some ways, what the Ed Ruscha exhibit is for bringing this homecoming of this great Oklahoma artist, is doing for Native American art, archaeological art, and in a way, the roots of Oklahoma art. So the Spiro Mounds is an archaeological site near the Arkansas border, near Fort Smith. And from about 950 to 1400, it was the dominating spiritual hub of North America, that there was more happening with spiritual relics and things in this part of Oklahoma than anywhere else. And so what that happened, though, is about in the 1930s, the site was looted. So some miners went in, they destroyed this just one-of-a-kind site, mounds with these kind of burial chambers just filled with all kinds of relics and masks and effigies that had been brought purposely to present-day Oklahoma from distance as far as Florida and Georgia and Illinois, all around this Mississippian cultural region, to this spot. So they were looted, they're all over the place. So as many as possible have been brought together for the first time since the 1930s as it happened. You've never been able to see all these pieces. And so when you look at this and you see these kind of engravings of shells that have been brought up from the ocean and carved into like deities and all these different things, and cedar and all these different types of birds and birdmen and different kinds of figures, you're seeing it in one place that you couldn't have before. And so I think that when you think about Oklahoma art, Ed Ruscha may be kind of looking at the last 50 years. Spiro is looking at kind of where present day Oklahoma art began in many ways. And so I feel it's almost as equally mandatory and a one of a kind opportunity to go see this at the Cowboy.
I think Spiro for me is what I'm honestly learning a lot about it this year, and the history of, and I've learned a lot about it from you, and the history is really mind-blowing. I don't know if I'm just someone who didn't know a lot about it, but when I talk to people, they are surprised when I share some of the history of that area. And so I myself cannot wait to go see this exhibition just to learn about it for myself. Do you know how long that exhibition is running?
It's on through, I wrote it down, it's on through May 9th. And then afterwards it's traveling to, I believe, Birmingham, Alabama, and I believe it's going to be in Dallas. So this is going to be a traveling exhibit starting here in Oklahoma City, curated by Eric Singleton at the Cowboy. I have a video coming out on Gallery America online in the next week or two. I'm going to be talking with him actually later today about the exhibit. So, come back and see more about, from the expert, the guy who put it together.
And I am also wanting to see, I'm just double checking to see when the Ruscha exhibit ends at OK Contemporary. So people.
July 5th.
July 5th. All
So
right.
Ed Ruscha at Oklahoma Contemporary, July 5th. The OKLA, which features some Ed Ruscha and other Oklahoma artists at Fred Jones in Norman, is on through March 7th. Go quick, you have a week. Also free. And the National Cowboy Spiro, which is called Recovering Ancient Spiro, is on through May 9th.
Okay, great. And what is in the works for you? We've kind of talked about what's been going on this last month in February, which we will continue to do on each of our Final Friday online videos. But we also want to always look ahead and briefly discuss the next Gallery America episode and what the next month holds for Oklahoma. So what are we looking at for March?
Well, in March, we don't have a new episode planned. March is our month off for Gallery America, but what we're doing is we're working on the April episode, which is unlike anything that we've done before. And part of it is because we're dealing with hopefully the last stages of COVID. So we're not shooting on location yet. But what we're going to do is look at a couple episodes from the past and check in with artists to see what's happened since then. So we're looking at things that came out 9, 10, 11 years ago, and finding out what happened to these pieces, what happened to them afterwards. And one of them is about the Dead Center Films has a boot camp. And 12 years ago, they did this boot camp with these 14-year-old kids, and they made a film, and we documented it for Gallery. And I found out one of the kids in it was talking about all she wanted to do is be a movie director. And here she is being documented. I found out since then she's become a director. And she's directing films and directing short films. And was in Austin, Texas, and I tracked her down and had an interview with her. So I thought that was kind of thrilling to find that out. So that'll be April.
That's so cool. I almost think we need to have another Gallery America online video about the movie scene in Oklahoma, because it is incredible.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you have, Martin Scorsese. It's
and the cast is starting to really fill out, and then just even other movies that FX has picked up a show. Is it in Muskogee? I think a lot of. I mean, it's almost like every other week I see in Variety something featured from Oklahoma. And Minari just came out in Tulsa and Oklahoma City to theaters that will for sure be nominated for a Best Picture. So again, another conversation, but the film scene in Oklahoma is absolutely incredible.
Until next Final Friday, I encourage you and everyone watching to think about what the name should be for the Oklahoma, film scene. I mean, it's not Hollywood, but we ought to have a nickname.
If anyone out there has a good name, send it to us and we will consider it and use it and get it out there. So share all of your, what is the Hollywood of Oklahoma? We can figure it out. We're a smart bunch.
The best suggestion, I'll make it in the headband and wear it for the March Final Friday, a headband merch. That'll be the first piece of merch for that.
That's perfect. I love it. Okay, Robert, I am going to end this. Really, I also just want to mention this as we are going into Pledge Month. This isn't something that we'll discuss every final Friday, but March is our biggest pledge month of the year. And as you know, Gallery America doesn't exist without the help of your pledges and your donations. So anything that you can do during March to support Gallery America and OETA's programming will be greatly appreciated. And I also want to just remind everyone again to follow OETA Gallery on Instagram at OETA Gallery and on Twitter at Gallery OETA. There is consistent updates on the art scene and fantastic videos from Robert that you can see, if not on a daily, weekly basis. And they're just really fantastic. And also Gallery America Online, the YouTube channel, absolutely fantastic. One more time, click here, subscribe. It's really good. And Robert, thank you for catching us all up on the month of February and giving us a little sneak peek into March. And I look forward to chatting with you on the last Friday of each month.
Final Friday, 001 in the books. We did it.
Final Friday, hashtag it, Final Friday. This is our thing, no one else's. We came up with Final Friday. Robert, thank you so much. I'll let you get out of here. Be well, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks, David.
Bye-bye.